Hey everybody, welcome to a Mic Talk on a Saturday morning. Here you are at Song and Sword. Songandsword.com is the place for all information about our ministry and what God's doing there. And I'm excited because it's a Saturday morning. Tomorrow is the Lord's Day, and we will be gathering here online. Please, if you can, invite your friends, get them to watch the sermon. I think it's a very important sermon that talks about how dangerous church can be and why the world needs it. By the way, in the background, you can see over my shoulders 2 speakers and a microphone stand, and this is the first audio purchase that we've made for the ministry, and we'll be using it tomorrow at the Normal Theater. Now, the Normal Theater will be a live gathering tomorrow of people who signed up, and over 300 of us will be there, and we'll have a sermon live. But if you didn't sign up for that, you can still catch the sermon and everything Song and Sword, and get ready to sign up for the next event, all right? So God bless you guys. I love you all. It's good to be with you. And we're going to continue in the Word today, as we always do, because that's what is important here. By the way, keep sending us your prayers, and it's a fun way for us to connect and to get into your lives. And thank you for all the prayers you guys are sending our way. We're continuing talking about prayer, by the way. And we've learned so much just in this last week, just a daily devotion about how do you pray and what should you do. Here's a simple phrase that teaches us from Jesus by example about prayer. Then I'll say a few words, but I'm just going to read one scripture today, okay? In verse 16 of chapter 5 of Luke 5:16. But he, Jesus, would withdraw to desolate places and pray. That's what he did. Jesus made a habit. And again, what was going on before that statement was made in Luke chapter 5? Well, in Luke chapter 5, in verse 12, he was in one of the cities, and a leper comes up and says, "Lord, if you will, you can make me clean." And he said, "I will." And then the news continued to spread of him until right before that verse, great crowds gathered to hear him and to be healed of their infirmities. Jesus was rock star status. Jesus had thousands of people following him all the time, yelling this, "Jesus, save us, heal us, teach us." The Pharisees and Sadducees sometimes challenging him. You know what? Here's what I'll tell you about people, and you know this, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, doesn't matter. People can wear you out, not because people are bad, but because you have emotional output all the time. And if you're crowded with tons of people, then can you imagine the emotional output? And you're sitting there going, "I know Jesus was God." Yes, he was God, but he was fully human. He's fully God and fully man. So that means that Jesus got tired emotionally. That yes, it is a pleasure, even as a pastor, to give and to pray and to bless and to hug and to, but like on a Sunday when you've met with a bunch of people, you're exhausted. What did Jesus do? How did Jesus fill his emotional and spiritual tank? Well, again, back to this verse, Luke 5:16. But he would withdraw to desolate places and pray. It is important, and there's the tip about prayer today that I want you guys to consider. It's important to find a place of prayer. You can pray anywhere. Like we said, pray without ceasing. You can pray in the car. You can pray when you're walking. You can pray when you're swimming. Whatever you want to do, you can pray. Anytime, any place, God's there. It's a constant 24-hour hotline to God. But when it's time to pray, and I think you should set aside some times that are designated for prayer. Location is important. Jesus went out to desolate places. Number one, he got away from people. Number two, he got away from his ministry. He got away from his apostles. And we find in Mark that he actually snuck off into the night a lot of times. They woke up in the morning going, "Where's Jesus?" He's in the mountains. He's in the desert. He's found a quiet place. How do we do that? Remove ourselves from people. Remove ourselves from our cell phones and all of our devices. Remove ourselves from the hectic pace of life. Find a place. Maybe it's your backyard. Maybe it's a corner in your house. Maybe you go for a walk and you sit on a park bench. It's important, if you want to fill yourself up and you want to talk to God, it will never be a great time of prayer unless you find a place. a solitary place, a quiet place, a place where there's no distractions. Try it. Leave your phone at home. Turn your phone off. Turn off your television. You'll never have a great prayer time unless you find a place where all the distractions of this world and all the weariness of this world and all the tiredness of the emotional output, and just say, God, I'm here now. This is a sacred space. Find a place, make it sacred, and pray there often. That's what Jesus did. Teaches us how to pray a little bit more. God bless you guys. Tomorrow's the Lord's Day. I can't wait. See so many of you online. And so God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.